Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to DreamHack Summer 2011. Today is a day to rejoice. Not just because I am with the dashing, the cunning, handsome Apollo.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
I will not. But also because I have not lost my voice yet. Feeling good because we are about to go into, honestly, one of the matches I've been looking forward to all tournament long. It's Happy versus Bomber. The players have joined the game, so we are going to get started right away. Just have to wait for the confirmation from both players. There's the go, 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 go. Bomber spamming in the channel. He has like 300 APM spam. He is ready to rock. Apollo, what are your thoughts on the TVT coming up on Xel'Naga Caverns?
I mentioned before that I think Happy's TVT is probably his strongest matchup, but this is Bomber, man. This is going to be sick. Bomber is so good.
I was dropped from the game. The internet just crashed on me, so it looks like we're going to have to do a third rego. You know, it's kind of funny because we started this match and I ended up getting disconnected right at the start, and I have to re-log back on, as a matter of fact. But we actually, that's not the first restart that we've had to do. We ended up joining the first game, and Bomber's like, hey, and he just started the game. We were like on break, we're like, no, 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 no. He is like super ready to go into this match. So I am now re-logging back in.
All right.
So, Apollo, what do you think about the Terran vs. Terran on this map?
So as I was saying, this is Bomber, and Bomber beat MVP 4-2. That's MVP, the best Terran in the world. Bomber, equally as good, if not better. Happy, he's got a task in front of him, that's for sure. This is going to be a hard match. And the first map is going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns, though, which I think is going to most likely slightly edge in favor of Happy because he plays so much ladder, and this is going to come up a lot compared to Bomber, who has to practice a lot of other larger maps, other GSL maps, and so on.
And I do know that Happy absolutely loves Xel'Naga Caverns, especially in this matchup, doing some crazy goodness with Hellions. Oh my god, we are going into this game because I have not disconnected! We have in the top right corner the man who defied expectations, 4-2ing MVP in the Code A Finals, ST Bomber! And in the bottom left, the man who just came off a narrow defeat versus Liquid Pro, but still has 90% on the ladder. It's Happy!
Looking at Bomber's records, it is insane what he's achieved in the last month or so. He won the IC Cup TV show match 4-0 versus White Ra. Made it look so easy. He then, he then went on, I think it was in the Zotac Team Invitational that he actually all-killed OGS. All-killed OGS, including games versus MC. This guy is a monster. And then, as we mentioned before...
Is he a monster?
A monster.
Your accent makes me giggle, Apollo.
What's wrong with monster? You don't like that? Monster?
I actually love that,
Monster? So, Bomber, the monster Terran here.
Oh, yes.
How do you say it?
I say monster because I speak English. So we do have in the bottom left, Happy is going to be going for that early refinery, but in Camp Bomberville, we don't have any refinery at all, so likely is going to be going for an early expansion.
Okay, let's stabilize ourselves here, Day 9. Let's get back on the game. All right, this monster player here is going to be going ahead and going for this fast expansion, as you can see, Bomber here.
Yeah, you see, it's a good thing I can mute my mic when I so desire, because you would hear the little titterings. It sounds like an excitable schoolgirl, but no, it is me. Having a great time casting here with Apollo. This is currently hour 18 of our cast. It's 16 yesterday. Woke up, got our favorite part of the entire trip, Swedish breakfast.
Oh my God, Swedish breakfast.
People in this country know how to eat, my friend. I cannot believe it. And whoa! Bomber doing a very new school style. He's going to be planting this refinery down at a key time. He will be putting down an expansion command center soon, but this will allow him to get a ridiculously early stim with his marine count. Watch this incredible timing. Here comes the command center going down, and as he's going to begin mining, right when he ends up finishing this Marine, he'll have about 25 gas, or he'll just make another Marine, but he generally will be able to get a tech lab very quickly for a super fast stim. Such a cool opening from Bomber.
And on the other hand, we look in Happy's base. He has gone for the second refinery after that factory. And most likely, well, we'll have to see. Is he going to be adding on that starport quite straight after that, or will he go for the tech lab? And Bomber, where's he gone for that tech lab yet? No, he's adding on another barracks, actually.
Well, interestingly, Bomber not doing a build I've seen him do before with the ultra-fast stim. Instead, he may be going for a factory, or perhaps he's just delaying. Oh, no, indeed, there's the factory going down. You know, Marine King Prime, who loves big Marine style, generally goes for an ultra-fast starport as well, but would not be surprised to just see Bomber go 2 racks, factory, big tank play, but I'm still a little surprised. No early second gas from Bomber. There's a pretty reasonable second gas from Bomber. And to note, Happy is doing everything as standard as he always does. He loves fast Banshee.
Yeah, so there we go. We are seeing the switch over with the starport, enabling that Banshee to be made to continue with harassment. And now this command center finishes inside the base of Bomber. The orbital command is on its way. Factory just about to finish now. Will he build a Hellion first or go straight into a tech lab? Looking at the gas now, 132. Is he? No, he's actually going to go for a starport and a tech lab at the same time on the factory. But look over at Happy's base. He's actually building Cloak.
Well, I mean, Happy absolutely loves Cloak Banshee openings, but it's one of those openings that's, oh, Bomber saying, what do we have here? And Happy says, well, everything you'd ever want to know. All the unit-producing structures with all the add-ons easily spotted. And as we were saying before, cancels Cloak. Very cool play. Will he go for a Raven first? Looks like Happy canceled and got a fast expo.
Yeah, I mean, that scan basically revealed everything Happy was doing. And after that, the response that we saw Bomber go into is he got an engineering bay immediately. He's going to add on a turret, most likely, as you can see in the middle line here. It's going to be quite safe against any Banshee plays, even building a Viking now, so Cloak would have been a complete waste of resources. So smartly, Happy cancels and does get that expansion, as you said, adding on another barracks here. And in comes this Banshee. What damage can it do? I don't think it's going to do anything, because this Viking is about to pop out, and with no Cloak, it is going to get chased down very easily.
Bomber doing a hyper-sophisticated opening. Viking arrives, going to easily repel. Bomber just needs to micro it properly. And it looks like Happy will get 0 kills on this Banshee.
Bomber. And the expansion is up now for Bomber. Happy just about to finish with his. And one Marine is going to go ahead and control that Xel'Naga tower. But we look at the unit tab now. Both players kind of close in this if you count 31 versus 28, because the orbital command was built a little bit sooner. But this defense play by Bomber with that Viking very smart, and that turret placement as well if need be. But the thing is now, the opening build of Happy was completely messed around, and look at the transition, just switches over with the starport, gets the tech lab for his barracks, adds on that stim, and also the reactor onto that barracks here.
Now, I mean, Happy is just having such a clear lead in opening. I mean, if you go to the unit counting station, he's ahead in every single measure except for that tank count. Happy does have an extra tank up at this point in time. So it still could go either way, because the tanks do so much damage to the Marines. It means that all Happy needs is a couple of excellent placed tank shots, but Bomber, honestly, is the king of tactical decision making.
A little skirmish in the middle here. A few Marines do go down. Reinforcements, Vikings on the ground, sniping away that last Marine. And it looks like Bomber's slowly moving out. Does not have siege mode, and it's not even halfway completed yet, but does have control of the Xel'Naga tower. Will he decide to move down or not? Vikings are getting lifted up and will continue to go inside and maybe possibly scout exactly what we have in here. Marines are moving in defensive manner inside the main base of Happy, and in case any form of harassment does come in via these Vikings.
At this point in time, it does look like Happy is starting to get 2 Vikings at a time. As you said, this is one of the strongest places to push. We're looking at this a lot in other Terran vs. Terran matches on this map. Happy right now in an ultra defensive position, and what you will always see from Bomber is that his units are always far on the other side of the map. Loves attacking, and oh no! Bomber loses 1 Viking and loses another one. And And just as we said earlier, a couple of mistakes from Bomber can easily let Happy catch back up.
Yeah, well, that attack was kind of shut down quite easily as soon as those Viking dies. He lost the air dominance, has to push back as the more Vikings are now in favor of Happy. As you can see, Bomber's just going to be like, alright, that attack didn't work out too well. I'm going to go ahead and kill these rocks and gear up to take that third base eventually. And combat shields now has been started for Happy. +1 attack's been made by both players. And Stim now finally being researched for Bomber here.
I mean, again, I can hardly believe how aggressive Bomber gets with his unit placements. I mean, it's almost absurd. It looks like he's so vulnerable to counterattacks, but because his forces are so huge and positioned so well at key times, his opponent always feels like you're on the defensive. We see now that Bomber's starting to try to sneak into this right side, but will Happy end up spotting it? Looks like no, he is just going for the gold, and Bomber will retreat.
Bomber does know that the rocks are under fire. Looks like Bomber's going to go around the back here and might be able to get a good position if he kills these two supply depots and just gets a really nice position by this refinery. It's going to be very hard for Happy to deal with, but Happy on the other hand is going to go up and could go for some form of counterattack here. Is he going to decide to turn around? He does. And what is Bomber going to do?
This could be a key misstep by Happy. You can shut this movement down by a couple of well-placed siege tanks, which would leave all these unit-producing structures vulnerable if Happy push from the south end, but no. Bomber is moving in for the kill. There's the siege mode. Can Happy get the key shot? Only gets a single tank. Bomber slips out like a slithery eel.
And he is going to leave now. Did stim, so he's lost a bit of HP on those Marines. We'll want to start some medevac production soon, so we can actually... Oh, he has 2 moving down now with his army, actually, so we can start to heal up these Marines. And Happy with this third base, going to have an economic advantage, and Bomber's going to have to do something about that. If he can get another siege position here, it's all about positions in this matchup. If he can get one just by this gold, it would be very nice, but Happy already in a decent position, and Bomber falling behind a little bit here, but does have the superior number count at this time.
Yeah, Bomber is well known for delaying third command centers and favoring huger and huger armies. Look at this, 2 factories already up. An add-on on every building on the map. Whoa, this could be dangerous for Happy. But he is retreating.
It's like you turn the cast into a song.
I know, I just break out into a musical. But unfortunately, I don't want people's ears to bleed, so I will stop singing. There's the advance forward by Bomber. Uh-oh. Looks like Bomber is in a little bit of a weaker position, getting a lot of hurt done to his Marines, and very smartly, Bomber trying to advance forward with a couple of Marines, but Happy gets the much better end of that exchange.
And now this gold is up and running for Happy. He's going to have a larger income right now. If you look at that now, you can start to see it's kind of getting up there. The SCV count 59 for Bomber, 63 for Happy, and still Bomber has not opted to go for that third command center yet, and is going to have to do something to overtip Happy here. And in comes from the right hand side, but with this sensor tower, Happy sees everything.
No, the Marines do not quite step into tank range, but as we see, just 2 or 3 tank shots on the same set of Marines completely clean him up. Keep in mind, Happy's army is smaller, 64 Marines, twice as many Marines for the Korean Terran.
And +1 armor is going to finish now for Happy, so both players are equal upgrades. Look what you need to have now, 64 Marines, double what Happy has down at 32. 8 tanks each, so the double the Marine count, a really difference here. And once again, trying to get into siege mode.
Oh, Bomber with a big misstep. Oh my God, losing 24 Marines.
Wow. And this tank's going to try to move back in time. Oh, it actually survives as well. Now Bomber advancing forward while trying to get up his own third base now, but is raining assault down onto this refinery. And Viking control, really important here. Bomber has the advantage. 5 Vikings in total on the map versus 0 of Happy. And now Bomber is getting positioned on top of this gold, and this is what he needed a while ago. And Happy gonna decide to do a counterattack here.
Can Happy repair this planetary fortress long enough? Needs to repair it from the correct angle. There's Happy now advancing forward. Bomber trying to get into a good position, but keep in mind there are more Marines on Bomber's side. All the tanks continuing to just work their way through. Bomber having a little bit of misplacement there with those Vikings, but right now Bomber still has the food lead. He's so aggressive. Can Happy get into a good position? He desperately needs to keep this gold alive, but it looks like it's going down, and it's gone.
Nice. Tables have turned now. Bomber in a nice lead. 180 food versus 153, and that's what he needed to do, is to get rid of that gold base. Another command center has been made for Happy, though, and he will go ahead and take the gold again, but he's going to walk right into these siege tanks.
Oh, no. This is a huge exchange. It's all going to come down to who can push the tank lines back farther, but Happy seems consistently behind Bomber in the food count. Do not land that. Lift that up quickly. And there he does lift it up, and it looks like Happy going to inch his way forward.
Oh! And Bomber decides to move back, has control of his gold now, and is just going to go in a defensive state now while he gets up this gold, adding on more barracks here. And now the tables have completely turned, and Bomber does finally get that gold up. We'll start mining from there, and then skirmish down the left-hand side here.
And there's a big stim forward by Happy. It looks like, amazingly not killing off a tank, but we've seen that Happy is doing great work with these Vikings, continuing to pick off those key medevacs. Bomber almost never makes Vikings in the late game, instead favoring those medevacs, and it looks like a big tank exchange, and Bomber gets the first set of shots off, but Happy has a lot of tanks in range. Still, even exchanges, the gold is back up again for Happy, but Bomber's army seems to just never be below 180 food.
And he's also fallen, Happy's fallen behind in upgrades though, and he's going to be super careful here. Ooh, losing a lot of Marines there, but it's slowly falling behind his tanks now. Bomber's tanks have +1, and I'll move into the right-hand side. Unsiege from Happy. He's going to try to keep these tanks alive.
And it looks like the tanks are isolated. If he can pick these tanks off, this would be big. But it looks like Bomber, again, the tactical genius, manages to slip into the side again, finding a way to barrage this gold base. Can Happy pick off this one tank?
This is so close right now. Equal exchanges throughout the game. 190 food, 195 food for Bomber now. 140 for Happy, and he's not liking this harassment on this gold. And it is not good for his economy. It's slipping now on Bomber with a commanding lead. Also getting up a 4th command center in the background. And it's not going too well down on this gold base. Upgrades are going out of control now. +2 weapons being researched for Bomber, and +2 armor as well for the bio.
I mean, Bomber only needs a couple of inches footing on this one planetary fortress. That will allow him to move up with a ton of tanks. We do see now that the Viking count is still a lot higher for Happy. He's able to get a decent amount moving forward, but losing a lot of Marines. Bomber now at 194, Happy at 125.
And Bomber here is just strangling Happy, and he loses the Vikings. And Bomber reinforcing now. A lot of bio going down the left-hand side. 2-1 upgrades, and it looks like a kind of a sandwich in the unsieged tank's got to be so careful.
Bomber is so good at unit movement.
Indeed he is, and that one Marine, just like Happy's style, one Marine denying that 4th expo, he actually forced to cancel on a previous command center just with that one Marine, which is helping out a lot here. And now Bomber taking expansions all over the map, the left-hand side. He's going to build another one. And
oh no, the planetary fortress at the gold. Will it fall a second time? It seems inevitable. Now dropping deep into the red. And Bomber has not made a big misstep yet with those Marines. Lost a few at the start, but no, Bomber refuses.
And this is so close now. It's very hard to call who's going to win this, but I think the supply lead. A nice position actually here by Happy with the Viking. Actually getting vision on these tanks, doing a lot of damage here. And he really needs to get this gold up and running. And all the Marines from Bomber here on the right-hand side. And +2 armor, just about a finish for these.
I mean, this Viking count from Happy allowing him to consistently stay with the vision advantage. Again, Bomber is just slightly in range of these minerals, able to pick off from afar, but Bomber having to waste a lot of scans just to make sure his tanks can continue to attack.
Harassment just like on the edges of that gold, and now he's moving behind. Will he be able to see though? He doesn't have vision. He scans. Will he be able to get that tank?
He does get it again. Bomber putting so much pressure on this gold third. We are just now hitting the 25-minute mark. gigantic Marine army from Bomber, who is now taking these extra bases, only now needs to just add on the SCVs. But with all the tanks committed to the right side, Happy trying to make a push up along the left, but look in the unit counting station, 85 Marines for Bomber.
Wow, and he's got better upgrades too. 2-2 upgrades, +3 weapons attack and income.
Oh!
Happy
Walks right on up. Will Bomber be forced to sprint? And it looks like Bomber's gonna go for it. Happy absolutely obliterating the Marines, but Bomber has too many.
Wow, completely clears up that force, and it looks like Bomber, well, actually the food count is quite equal, 130 versus 117. And that fourth base from Bomber still hasn't gone down. It's surprising, it's just still floating there and has been for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Bomber having a little bit of problems getting distracted, playing at 249 actions per minute. Happy playing a little over 200 himself. It's funny to think that Bomber did all this sophisticated movement to pick off this gold, and Happy just walked straight up to Bombers and took out a ton of SCVs. Really goes to show you that Bomber's aggression in a lot of circumstances is just an illusion. He was honestly having a lot of vulnerabilities himself.
And he lost a lot of SCVs in that engagement, using them to actually deal with the threat, and it's down to 31 SCVs versus 43 of Happy. Happy getting a good position on this planetary fortress, and it looks like this will go down here.
Wow, if Happy could pull off a win here, that would be huge. He has been behind in food all game long, has been battling. Here comes some Vikings from Bomber, but it looks like Happy does manage to take that out. Oh my goodness, is Happy gonna do a killing blow with this push?
The command center's gonna go down, and an assault down on the planetary fortress though. Oh, big attacks on SCVs. The SCV count just dropped so down, 16 SCVs versus 29 of Bomber, and this planetary fortress goes down once again. And back and forth action, cutthroat action here. And Bomber lifts up the command center and tries to hide these SCVs before they go to their inevitable death.
Nobody has any bases, Apollo.
Nobody has any mining bases at all. And now all the SCVs are getting caught and die. 15 versus 15 SCVs now. Bomber with the upgrade lead does have +3 weapons though, which is going to be really vital here.
I just opened up the income tab. Lol. Look at how low that is. It was up to 2K for each player just seconds ago. Look at the production. Happy's getting an upgrade. Bomber's getting an Marine.
Wow.
Ridiculously equal play from both of these players.
And once again, Happy trying to get that gold up. And there is a orbital command that did survive in the top left-hand side. He can go ahead and go take that third base just directly south there and get mining from it. But look, where are the SCVs? Oh, and a hidden expansion on the right-hand side that Happy has no idea about. And it's going to be very important for Bomber in this game to keep that alive. Very toe-to-toe action so far.
Big trades in the middle going on right now. Again, the dance around the Zelnaga cavern itself. Can Happy get into a good enough position? Bomber is just so aggressive. Again, having a gigantic army. 15 tanks, 71 Marines. Happy has a much smaller force, but has been getting slightly better tactical engagements in the later stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the fight is so equal. The difference is that Bomber has better upgrades, 3-2 Marines and +3 tanks, compared to +1 of Happy and 2-1 Marines, but every position seems to be in favor of Happy. He always gets into the better position slightly, and Bomber making an advance down this left-hand side. Doesn't really want to go too far, will get into the range side. And look at that, another Marine on that possible third base there, and I love that Happy does that in every matchup over and over.
Continues to block. No, the orbital command will not just land and squish the Marine. It will have to run away. And it looks like the upgrades. Wow, Bomber. No wonder he keeps winning these engagements. 3 attack, 2 armor versus Happy. 1 attack, 2 armor. Finally getting his gold for, I think, the 5th time this game or something. Just cannot manage to keep it alive. But if only Happy knew that this base was up, he could easily just do a quick drop and clean it up. Right now, with these Vikings, Happy has always had the vision advantage. One of the most important concepts in tank battles. Tanks can shoot farther than they see, so if you can control the vision planes, that means that you can always have your tanks shooting your opponent's tanks first. Happy, all he needs to do is just check the right position. Oh, Bomber getting such an advantage.
Oh, these Vikings though, 6 Vikings incoming from Bomber. One of them goes down, another goes down,
no.
and now Bomber has control
no.
of the air. And that's going to be very important now because they do not have enough scans. They don't really have any scanning options aside from these Vikings. And now Bomber does have that lead, so he's going to have a better engagement position. And he sieges up on this gold base once again.
Uh-oh. Bomber starting to poach a little bit far forward. He's going to wait till the siege, and now he's going to pull back. Happy doesn't realize this is just one base. He's going for the second one over at the right side now, adding on gas geysers. Happy has to lift and retreat. Still has not killed off these destructible rocks. Does have an orbital command there as well. But now it looks like Happy trying to force Bomber into an awkward tactical spot. But it looks like Bomber is going to have the good defense, and right now in the income we see none for Happy.
And Bomber now maxed out. That one base on the right-hand side has brought him back into this game. Happy has no idea about it. And now Bomber's going to go around. If he can get position just south of all these tanks and Marines.
Oh, no. Oh, Bomber finally managed to chew his way through. He's in the gold. He's pushing down. The expansion at the right now very well defended given this position. The Viking count from Bomber so high. Going to be too hard for Happy to break through that. More Vikings arrive for Happy, but they are going to be sacrificial lambs in this fight. And oh my gosh, the Marines just marching directly into the base.
The income of Happy now is 0-0. There's nothing he can do. No resources at all. This is it. This is his only army left. He needs to utilize every bit of this army. The upgrades, though, for Bomber are tearing apart these Marines. And the Viking count is just allowing Bomber's siege tanks to just be so more efficient in these battles.
Oh my gosh, Happy doing a final stand right now, moving in with all his units, and Bomber looks like he is pulling back for now. All these siege tanks for Bomber are a little bit isolated, but he's going to have so many. Happy's revealed! He is naked on the map right now, but all the tanks up top. Oh, Happy just trying to go for it. It is not going to work. Down to 37. Food and good game. Both literally and figuratively, very good game by those two players.
What a strategical match that was, Sean. I mean, toe-to-toe, back and forth, and that was a better display of Happy. That was more like what I wanted to see to the previous game, and I'm happy for him. But still, Bomber, it's Bomber. This guy is insane. He's had so much success in Korea. Now, for the first time, well, unfortunately, I was so excited to actually watch him in MLG, and then he overslept and missed his flight. Whatever the excuse was. And he's over here in Sweden now. And it's good to see him play, especially against the European Terrans. Many people, if you know, predicted the European Terrans to be really good and be able to compete at the highest level here. And this is super exciting. And it shows Happy was not really that too far behind Bomber in these games.
You know, it's interesting because Bomber, you watch him play in the GSL and you see him absolutely dominating a lot of his opponents. His opponents never seem to be able to deal with how aggressive Bomber's unit positioning is. But Happy, one of the only Terrans I've ever seen able to consistently keep up with the tank placement. But you still note that Bomber doesn't have just some gimmick up his sleeve. Bomber is not just trying to be aggressive, hurl units, and not think. He is very, very careful with those Marine tank placements, and all Bomber's doing is looking for one opportunity to break through, and that's what we ended up seeing in that match, just trying to get a few inches on Happy, and was able to take out that essential gold time and time again.
And I don't even think Happy's had time to look at the replay, but I'm sure if he did, he'd be like, God damn it, that expansion on that right side cost me the game. He had no idea about